Hold your fire! I'm a human!
One of my favorite Christmas time movie and games, Batman Returns. Batman Returns on the SNES was developed and published by Konami and released in North America in April of 1993. Batman Returns is a side-scrolling beat-em-up that follows the story of the Batman Returns movie almost to a T. The gist of it is that Batman must fight his way through the Penguin's cronies, take on Catwoman, the Penguin, and so forth in order to restore peace and law and order to Gotham. Over the course of 7 different stages, you'll be treated to some wonderful sceneries and changes of gameplay. Most areas are your typical beat-em-ups, with a few being straight-up 2D left-to-right side-scrolling with more usage of your sub-weapons. There's even a well-placed and received Batmobile segment. Batman has a wonderful arsenal of moves at his disposal, such as punch combos, flying cape, crowd control moves, kicks, special moves, stunning batarangs, and even screen-clearing test tube bombs. But perhaps the most used mechanic is the grab, which can lead to slamming enemies on the ground, against the wall, or pulverizing them in your grasp. Batman Returns is a wonderful looking game with big sprites which are aesthetically pleasing. The music captures the atmosphere of the game and film fairly well, albeit not many tracks that stand out in my head after playing the game. The controls in Batman's arsenal are easy to get used to, with perhaps the only difficult part being establishing the correct distance between yourself and the enemies in order to engage in safe punching combos without getting slapped around yourself. The difficulty is more than fair in normal mode. Not nearly the hardest beat 'em up that I've ever played, however the boss fights with Catwoman and Penguin can be very challenging. Also, if you find yourself in a bad spot near the edges of the screen, it's very possible to be stun locked by the enemies into your death unless you do a wake up special move, which also drains some of your life. I gave the game one playthrough on the Mania difficulty, which clearly adds more enemies, makes things faster, and the bosses do way more damage than they do in normal mode. I made it to the boss of stage 6 before conking out. So with the wide variety of difficulty options, there's plenty of replay value in order to test your mettle. While this game doesn't reinvent the wheel, it really didn't have to. If you're looking for a fairly faithful to the movie video game adaptation with some classic beat-em-up action, then Batman Returns on the SNES is for you. I give Batman Returns a solid 7.5 out of 10, and I highly recommend it. My main gripes being that the difficulty could spike seemingly out of nowhere, and at the end of the day, it is a bit short and can get somewhat repetitive, but in this instance, the pros far outweigh the cons. Make sure to please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time.